Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video with the Odds Moth. Today, I have a webcam, of course. I thought I would do a review on the new rework or revamped version of Red Desert. And if I'm going to be honest, I really like the rework. The rework is awesome. I've noticed a few spots which, if I'm gonna be honest, the guy that did this, which turns out to be a guy that was very recently, what do you call it, hired. That's what I've heard. From the dev Q&A, he was like hired, or he was like working on this map. I'm not entirely sure, but he was working on this map, working on the refab. And if I'm gonna be honest, he did a fucking brilliant job. I love this. This is a fantastic rework. You've got this section which I'm driving through at the moment. They haven't updated the minimap yet, but this section, when I was playing on the test server, all the heavy main battle tanks would come here, and it will just be an absolute slugger match. And I absolutely found it amazing because like, you would lock down. It was either the enemy locked down this area or you locked down this area, but it was very hard to lock down this area because you got like these open areas and whatnot. And this guy who did the rework of this map, he obviously knows what he's doing, and I even said it in chat in one of the reduns that this is one of the best reworks that I've ever seen, and I said, you know, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. It's fantastic rework. Hats off to him. I hope he does some more, like Arctic Sea, and maybe even rework Corellia. Corellia could come back as a rework, and that would be really, really cool. But this is a fantastic rework. I haven't seen the other side of the map that much, but I've seen that part and that part. I think it's going to be a big hotspot for main battle tanks, like the heavy main battle tanks. This area hasn't really changed that much. Not from what I know. I mean, I wasn't able to get like an insight into it that much, but you can clearly see they have definitely done some work on it. And we're going to drive over to the other section of the map. So yeah, they've definitely remade this part. They've made it feel less like, you know, shoot across the map, which, if I'm going to be honest, that was becoming a plague in this game. That was becoming a real plague, especially at higher tiers, where, you know, you would just sit at the back of the map and just shoot right across it at basically getting spawn. And we desperately needed a map which fixed this, but we weren't really getting maps which were fixing that. I'm looking at you, Point Alpha and Point Bravo. Those two maps are questionable, to say the least. But this map just, it's just fantastic. It's absolutely amazing, and I really like how the developers and how the team have really worked to make a fantastic rework. I hats off to them. Really, really hats off to them. They've done a very good job at eliminating all of, well, most, should I say, not all of them, because there's still a few around, but most, like sniping areas. And this is a fantastic, absolutely amazing new lease of life for this map, because there was a lot of and the problem, the sad thing is the reason why I brought up Arctic Sea first about like future reworks is because from what the developers said in the dev Q&A, they don't really like Arctic Sea, which I understand. I totally understand. It can be a very campy map at times. It can be, and I think that if they did a massive rework of the map, just like they've done with this map here, then I think that they can give it a new lease of life instead of removing it. They can do it to maps like Karelia, or they can even bring like 3 Fort into light here if they do a rework of it. Now, what they have said is the old version or the current version of Red Desert is going to stay in, while the new version will also come in. That's what I've heard. I didn't stick around in the Q&A for that long. I only stuck around it for about half an hour at best, 3 quarters of an hour, and then I started playing the open test, or the public test, shall I say. But yeah, the fantastic rework, really good rework, because with the current Red Desert, you had this portion, like if I just stop here and just show my mouse, you had this portion where the enemy team would spawn here, and then they would try and exit their spawn. And it was sort of the same for the north as well, but it was more for the south. They would try and exit here. And the north players, especially in this area, would get shot right into the enemy spawn. I will admit, I've taken advantage of that, and it's annoying. You do get, of course, spawn protection. I have noticed it lasts longer than it normally did, so I'm not sure if they've made it last longer, but my experience, it does. It could mean me just tripping, but it does. And honestly, this new version of Red Desert completely eliminates this, what I like to call as the death corridor, because it's either the northern team gets absolutely butchered, or the southern team gets absolutely butchered. And they've seemed to have really, really, really worked hard to eliminate that. And I'm going to drive back to the heavy tank area. And I hope, I really, 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 really hope that they do not change this area, because it's a fantastic area. Very, very good area. You really, really have to try to take over this area. Where is it here? Yeah, it is here. Like, you have to really try. Oh no, it's over here actually. My bad. But this area could be a pretty good area to like try and take over full whatnot. And this area as well. So it's not just like a death corridor once again. It's not that, because there's like alternate ways to go through it. But I feel like to control this area, this entire area, if you lock it down, then you control a massive part of the map. You control basically the whole eastern block. But it's going to be very, very difficult to control that. And they've done, again, I keep on saying it, but it's true, they have done very well with reworking this map. They've revamped not all of it, because the middle still seems to be the same, but definitely the outskirts. Very, very good rework. Very, very good rework. It eliminates, especially this section here, this area where I'm just about to drive up, on the minimap. This section here in F10 and G10 was notorious for people sat there and just picking off the enemy team. And the problem is, because this area was more situated towards the southern side, if someone from the northern side got into this area, now they did try and eliminate it a little bit. It kind of worked, but at the same time it kind of didn't, because people were still able to sit there and really harass the enemy team. And I really love the fact that not only have they removed this area, but now with extra cover here for the enemies to get across safely and everything like that. I feel like they've eliminated that completely. Now, could it be the fact that this spawns a new problem to where you can have like 1 or 2 tanks here which poke out and just, you know, shut this area down? Yes and no. I don't think people are going to be able to completely shut this area down, because I feel like this part of the map is going to be a huge hotspot when it goes live. I feel like it's just going to be filled to the brim with tanks, with boats, and this is going to be a highly contested area. So honestly, I was gobsmacked when I first saw this. I was shocked, because it's a fantastic rework. You know, whoever reworked it, I don't know who really reworked it, but if you're watching this video, you did an amazing job, my friend. You did a fantastic job. And I hope that you are also the one to rework like Corellia and even make new maps. You know, I hope that you do that, because if I'm going to be honest, and this is no like ground stains or anything for the dev team, because they do absolutely amazing things, but I don't think that making maps is their strongest suit. And I think that it's fantastic that they actually employed someone to actually take that part of the role up, because now not only does that free up time on their part to work on tanks more, like models of tanks and like that, but it now has someone who can now spend full time working on maps, working on reworked map, working on maybe you know, if there's a problem with a map, they can fix it really, really quickly. You know, things like that. And basically, it's going to speed up development of the game. And I think this is a huge win on the developers' part. I really do think it's a really, really good advantage on their part. And I hope that they keep this version of Red Desert in, because it's a part. It's a map which works in all cases. It works in all cases because it eliminates basically all of the, you know, shoot across the map, kill the enemy before they leave their spawn kind of thing. And it introduces new parts where it's new challenges. You have to lock down areas, and basically it's a healthier version of the current red desert that we've got. Now, of course, I'm in the T-40 Armada, and this tank, I kind of like this tank, if I could be honest. I think this tank is really good. By the time that this video goes up, the public test for this will most likely be closed. They were originally going to do it for 5 hours, but they ran into some problems where people were joining, but where half the people that joined, including me, when we joined, the code had broken, so they had to figure out, how to fix it and whatnot, and they did a fantastic job of fixing it. They're not like the typical developers where if it doesn't work out, they're like, oh, sorry, the open test is cancelled or whatnot. No, they were determined to let their player base see the map, and I've got to give them credit. They did a fantastic job with the map, with making sure that their player base could actually play the map. We've extended it from 5 hours to 24 hours for the open test. They've just done amazing. They've done amazing, and I can't wait for future revamps of old maps. Fields of AE, that map could do with a frantic rework. And the two Point Alpha and Point Bravo, those could do reworks. I think that instead of removing maps now, I think that maps can just do with reworks. So maps that have been removed in the past, like Corellia, I think can do with reworks, and then introduce them back in, maybe for a week, see how it does. If people don't like the map, then remove it, and just carry on, honestly. But yeah, this is an absolute amazing work. And devs, if you're watching this, again, you did an outstanding job. You did an absolutely outstanding job. I know I've been a bit critical of you lot, and I will just say that I'm sorry for being critical, but I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh well, it's my job to be critical. It is, but I need to do it in a intelligent, formal way. I can't just berate the developers just because of this and that and whatnot. I can't do that because that's rude on my part, and that just makes me look a little like an arse. But what I'm going to do is I am going to credit them, and I'm going to say, oh, what the hell? I didn't realise that there was actual... I thought I'd put this as... It's interesting. But yeah, this map is very good. Yeah, I have to be honest, it's very good. So, yeah. Is he really going to carry on being an annoying little ass? But the heavy tank area, or the main battle tank area, oh, there you go. If I have to be honest, again, they did a good job. I know I keep on saying it, and I know you're bored about it, and I know this and that, whatnot. But they did a really good job. They did a fantastic job, and I hope that they do more revamps instead of removing maps. But if I have to be honest, devs, you did an amazing job. You did a fantastic job. I can't stress it enough. But you really did do a good job. Anyways, I'm going to see you in the next video. hopefully with a webcam, and I will see you guys later.